James.
Oh, we stalled it. Dear, oh dear. Well, if you can't find it, grind it. Now you look on the back, there you go. Those little fins just above the tracks on the back. Now that's to aid in swimming. So when the tracks are going around, it actually... Well, there we go. So, this is British, it's called a ferret. Yeah, after the very screwy thing that comes rabbits. So, this was a reconnaissance vehicle again, a little bit smaller, two-man crew. The top of the steering wheel is towards you, and it follows that slant on the front arm. So, it's a little bit, yes, working on them is a different matter. Everything big, heavy, designed to bite you, it really, really is. APC. But it's got a slight difference to it. This was purely built, this is a prototype, this is the only one that was ever built. So nothing else like this in the entire world. So I don't quite plus a commander, and hopefully he'll come along. He's sitting inside at the moment. Hopefully he will stop, shut all the armoured windows up, and then it'll pop out the top and drive off again. Now you notice the 4 round gun ports on the side, just below the 4 windows. Again, you can open these up and fire the vehicle from inside. There you go, the gun ports, donk. Like I said before, can you imagine how noisy it is in there? It has got 1 passenger. There's a very large, hello, is there anyone home? Oh, hello, he's opening the front door.
It has a driver at the front, a commander who sits above the driver, giving him guidance on where he is going, what he's doing, etc. Because although they are fairly easy to drive, because they are basically a box on tracks, visibility isn't as great as you would. Fairly nimble and fairly agile. It is steered using 2 tillers, which are effectively sticks that come up out of the floor in front of you. You pull the right one to go right, the left one to go left, and you pull both of them to stop the Abbott, and it is a self-propelled gun. You see these in situ around the area, despite its nickname of the battle bus. Okay, so the next vehicle I believe that we have out is another modern vehicle. It's another family, and it belongs to the CVRT family, which is Combat Vehicle Reconnaissance Tracked. Again, there are a huge range of vehicles within this family. This one being a scimitar. Fast backwards as it will forwards. And they have a crew of 3 generally. And I think he's being called into the marshal, and he's going to get him to perform a neutral turn for you. So just watch where the front and the back of the vehicle is, and you can see that he hardly moves out of that box. That is how agile they are. They will just spin round within their own length. Traffic jams on the M25? No problem. Now this is called an AVERT. It's a 433 self-propelled gun. It is not a tank. The definition of a tank is a vehicle that can fire on the move. And they are able to do this. So it's still the Rolls-Royce K60 multi-fuel engine. It has, in place of the smaller armament that you saw on the CVRT, it has a 105mm gun on the front of it that has a range of 11 miles. That is some considerable distance. And bearing in mind, those of you who know anything about physics, actually ensuring the round hits its target.
Swiss designed, used by it's like a little train on tracks. Now the predecessor to it, the Snowcat, for reconnaissance or anything like that. But the vehicle that came after that as well. But again, you can drive them on the road.
No good, which it wasn't. And we put the British 17-pounder anti-tank gun in. Much bigger gun, much more powerful. It could take out tigers and panthers. The only trouble is it's much heavier, so you've got a counterweight on the front barrel there, you'll see. And in the open top turret, they had to turn the guns or snow. They'd bolt these onto the tracks, and it's a bit like snow chains, really, and give much more traction. Got a couple of spare wheels on the front. Unlike the Shermans and other tanks, there's no bow machine gun for sort of close quarter defence. They could, if necessary, mount a machine gun in the open top turret, but I can't remember any pictures of them doing so. Really, it's just full of ammunition inside. Cruise kit all hanging around the outside. There we are. I think he's going to stop in a moment. So there we are. Be prepared in not very long for a bang. We're not sure if it's going to be a loud one, soft one. Steve, don't let me down. We're just finding a suitable target.
Model tanks in. And I say model tanks, but I use the term very, very lightly because they're really large model tanks. If they run over your foot, you'd know about it, you really would. So yeah, do stick around for that because this is a almost there. Ooh.
Attachments rear. We give it to attachments rear to give them a break. They've set the guns.
We're having a memory problem, so I will hear you shouting nice and loud. Gun number 1. One. Okay, group, on your own. Gun number 1. Gun number 2. Well done. Try and remember it.
Take post.
Take post.
Angle of sight 300. Ranging 630. 3 round salvo, 10-second intervals.
Shoot target. 18. M48 is target. 635. Angle sight 300. 630. Salvo. Load.
These guns traverse by moving the gun across the axle. The traversing gear is actually the axle of the gun. There's a hand wheel and a screw thread, and you move the gun across the axle. They were designed to go in 9 pieces on 7 pack mules, but the British thought it was a far better idea to bring the gun, the limber and the jeep in all in one packet. The gunners report when ready. I'm watching my time. My watch says we have a minute to go. It will be on the troop sergeant's command.
Number 2, go ready. Number 1 ready. Come on.
30 seconds.
Set guns to 0.
6, 3, 7, 8. Angle of sight 400. Ranging 500. Expend all rounds.
Bruce target, empty, M48 instant, charge 4, bearing, 6 feet, 7, 8, angle of sight 400, ranging 500. All rounds, load.
You can see the breech worker leans over to see the graduations on the axle as they move the gun in traverse.
Ready?
The order is gunfire. Go.
You're not listening, Stuart.
Let's roll!
dual task or multitask. So we're going to bring in the model tanks. We're just going to park them up just.
So it was never really good in the proper induction. Several guns have really just sit back and enjoy, and then we're going to have an army out to play. Well back from the line, you can see the vehicles moving. You can see them, the drivers can't always see you, they won't be concentrating on seeing you, they'll be concentrating on their job. So if you can listen please. Well back, thank you very much indeed. So there's a little extra demonstration. So we're going to have to try and pull it to triangle. No, this is the Diamond T coming up as well with a hard top. That's slightly smaller than them. And in the Western Desert there's a photograph somewhere of a British Diamond T after the Italians surrender pulling about 20 tank trailers, all with a captured Italian tank on, and just in the Western Desert, of course, you didn't have to worry too much about turning circles, but it's just going around this vast loop in the desert with 20 trailers on, a bit like the Australian lorry trains and such like they sometimes have, where you've got vast distances and open spaces. Tightening up the chain on the front of the ram again. Richie, I don't think you're going to be able to pull the tank. We're shortening it up, so hopefully shortening it up is going to create a bit more of an angle than you can pull it at. I think, you know, let's face it, I'm just like you. Tanks. The best thing to do, I'll talk about them as though they're the real thing. The smaller ones are all 6 scale. The one in the lead is a Panther. Now you've all seen the Panthers, it's a famous tank, probably one of the best tanks the Germans produced in the war. It's followed by the famous Tiger. The grey one is an early, little differences here, there. One of them ended up after the war on the Lulworth tank ranges. Somebody realised, about 10-15 years ago, somebody realised that they were shooting up a unique piece of history, so it was rescued and it's now in Bombington Tank Museum. The Panther II hull, again, never went into production, but there was one prototype, and that ended up in America. If you notice, the wheels on the Panther II are very much like the late Tiger wheels, the steel, resilient rubber wheels. Again, saving on rubber, which was a very, very important material. It did away with a lot of the rubber, which, you know, the Germans just couldn't import concrete material, which was pasted over the tanks to stop enemy. Lovely engine noises, you know, really authentic. You can see all these ones over on the Mark I tanks.
Oh yeah, nice strong for you.
It doesn't even have any brakes on the front axle. The engine is a Gardner engine built by the Gardner company. It's a 6-speed gearbox, 6 forward gears, 1 reverse gear, and then
take vehicles to boast that. Okay, so he's coming towards the end of the slalom now, and then he's got to go forwards into the garage. So now he has got to accurately make it back through this gate, and again he's taking quite a while. Not the fastest as compared to yesterday's vehicles, but he's not doing badly manoeuvring. He's keeping tight to those rope pins and just... As you can see, they don't need to go to the gym for this. They get plenty of workout when they're doing that steering. You should have arm muscles be army. Into the garage. For going round the slalom the wrong way, but we've also killed the finish gate. And he's gone the wrong way again! Because he's now lined up a lot better for that dip than his brother was. Now he's actually gone the right way around the slalom. So he's redeeming himself slightly. At least he learns from his mistake. So very carefully through, but he is going nice and tight to those pins. He's the first scabble, and he's all closed in. So his observation is severely limited. So we will see how evenly matched these guys actually are.
certainly, war does bring development. It brings, it pushes vehicles further forward, it pushes medical further forward. I mean, it's like you take the good old common super glue. That was actually a medical design designed for sticking people back together. But there you go. And the latest conflicts that our boys have been in, the medical has actually just leaps and bounds forward. It really, really has. And so are the vehicles in terms of protection for and detecting the enemy before they actually can lay some fire down. So we're just going to let them roll in, let the dust settle just a little bit, and I'll go along the front of them and just tell you a little bit about them, maybe even talk to the drivers, and see how we go from there. We seem to have a very good variety of vehicles here, which is quite nice. Yes, don't worry about the dust. It'll all be good. Right, we've got actually quite a lot here. Well, I think a few of them I know, a few I'm not sure. But I'm sure the owners will quite happily fit. Irish Guards, or am I wrong? Royal Irish Regiment in he says sometimes the RAF Regiment, depending on how he feels when he wakes up. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. So this one's in reconnaissance mode. It's got a nice GPMG on the front. Okay, H1 upgraded.
No, it's not an H1.
Oh.
No, an H1 is a civilian version.
Okay.
No, this is basically an A0.
Ah, okay, so the first military spec. Yeah, that's just been upgraded severely.
Got the MRAP turret on it, the new A2 upgrade.
Yeah, so the MRAP turret on the top, 30mm grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one hefty bumper on the front, which is ideal when you're going into.
Wrong of the run on the right as you look at it is from Mark Rosenthal. He's driven this from Cologne in Germany. These sort of trucks used by the US Army up to today, and they're starting to phase them out. General cargo trucks, very good trucks, 6-wheel drives with selectable front wheel axle drive, all round 5-ton cross country, but they'll take about 20 ton on the road.
Automatic drive system as well. Yeah, power steering as well. Oh, aren't the Americans blessed with an easy life? So there you go, the two M900 series there. Coming on to more Humvees now, slightly different colour, slightly different configuration. So, but yeah, with a really big bumper for the Tesco's car park. It really is good. Tell us something about your wagon.
Well, it's a Humvee. It's got the A2 front on it. It's a 6.2 V8 Detroit diesel engine. It's lovely to drive, and I just love it.
Excellent. It's really, really good. Well, this is it. She says, what more can I say? It's big, makes a loud noise, and everybody gets out of my way sometimes. Good. Right, so this one, slightly different configuration, rag top. The good thing about the Humvees is you can convert them, so you can have the fastback variant, you can have a cargo variant, or you can have a troop carrying variant. Some had weapon systems on the back, big rocket systems, but basically it's the same. You could do it. And it was driven here from Germany. Did you drive it here from Germany? There you go, drove it back from Haymarket, or drove it here from Haymarket. That must have been very expensive and very uncomfortable. But you can actually drive poking out the top as well, so the whole lever, the whole drive system comes up and down. And it was driven here from Germany. Did you drive it here from Germany? There you go, drove it back from Haymarket, or drove it here from Haymarket. That must have been very expensive and very uncomfortable. But you can actually drive poking out the top as well, so the whole lever, the whole drive system comes up and down. You upgrade the armour so it can keep up with the Warriors, which is the latest APC that the British Army have got. Really easy to drive. You've got 2 sticks in front, you've got 1 pedal, that's it. There's no brake pedal, there's no clutch pedal, it's sort of full automatic and Allison gearbox. And the good thing is you can fill the fuel tank up with whiskey and it will still run. Because it's a multi-fuel, or is it an actual? Well, tell us about your wagon.
She's 1969. This one's a radio repair shop and recovery wagon combined. It was a dual-purpose one. I've had it for about 10 years. It served in the Soviet Army and then it was given to the Czech Republic. For a while it was used for logging and farming and stuff before we got it. And I've restored it. It's been in a couple of films. And it normally comes out in the morning and recovers things that broke down in the arena.
Yeah, and that happens quite a lot. It really does. What everyone wants to know is how big is the beer fridge in the back? Oh, beer fridge, oh, that's no good, is it? But it's nice, you don't often see that configuration of back on them, so it's really, really nice. Right, I guess that this one is MAN, because it says it on the front. It's cool. Now, the British Army are actually using the MAN trucks now as troop carriers, recovery vehicles and all sorts. German in design. 5.5 hours, yeah, but 125 kilometres max speed. Oh dear, that's not fast, that's a long time, but it has got a bouncy seat and air conditioning. That's the main thing. Brilliant. Right, oh, we've got more in. They snuck in behind me, I didn't see them. So, OT-90, basically Russian APC, armed personnel carrier. You can talk this time.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, originally designed as a Russian
colleague. I mean, you want your tank to get air. Right, so, Ford. Let me guess, security forces? Yeah, it's written on the side, yeah. You see, I'm that good. Don't forget that in the military, they're not always green, black, desert, pink, wherever they are. There's a large number of what they call white fleet, which is supporting the troops, either when they're in the camp, going out and about, or it's the MPs going out and collecting them from the bars, stuff like this, which is probably what these guys would do, or it's a Tatra, because it's written on the front again. You see, I'm that kid.
So what else you know about it?
Right, very, very large diesel engine. I know they use them for truck racing quite a lot, and the off-road challenge scenes with the Tatra are quite famous for it. It's your turn, I've run out.
So yeah, this is a Tatra H13, 1974. It's a tank towing vehicle, partially towing, partially recovery. So we got a 25 tons, metric tons that is, wings on the back. A towing rating is 100 metric tons, so if somebody can do the funny conversion, feel free. So yeah, there's 7
truck with the red tractor and the little green trailer. And that'll take you around site. There's loads of points where you can jump off. Completely free service. Save your little legs and just go around and see what's out and about, really. So next event is 3 o'clock, so come back to the arena for 3 o'clock for the main battle, the Second World War battle, and then we'll see who wins, whether it's going to be the Germans or the British. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you at 3 o'clock.
The reconnaissance section of this German column. They have just been, see how easy it is to roll a motorcycle combination. These combinations are in fact two-wheel drive, so two rear wheels actually power the motorcycle. Now we've got the beginning of this withdrawing German column. There's a Ford truck who's been stopped by the German military policeman and is being advised that the Allies, the Americans, have actually cut the road further ahead. So they're going to have to look for an alternative route around the advancing Americans. They've got to find a way around the American frontline troops in order to catch up with their own forces. So this is a mixed group of vehicles, as you say. These are all genuine World War II German army vehicles. The one that is just being spoken to by the military policeman is a Steyr. It's towing a light anti-tank gun. Pak 75 75mm anti-tank gun, very effective against Allied armour. And that's followed by an Opel Blitz 4x2, standard, pretty well standard German army 3-ton truck of the period. Followed by a French Renault The German army used made extensive use of French military equipment after they had occupied France in 1940. That is fairly typical French army truck of the period. Nice little Kettenkrad, a half-track motorcycle, usually used for towing light anti-tank guns. And that's followed by a Schwimmwagen, which is a Volkswagen amphibious light vehicle. And one mustn't forget that cyclists were very much used by the German army during World War II. And as we can see, there's a section here on push bikes. Now this column is now endeavouring to find a way around the Americans, and that's why they've been directed off the main road and now heading what they think will be an alternative route. The reconnaissance section and the military police here guiding the German column. He's halting, the military policeman is holding up a standard German army wand, as they call them, to make it clear to the driver that he must halt. Now we've also got in the middle of the arena a machine gun section setting up. Two men in a foxhole. They have got an MG42. 7.92 caliber standard German army machine gun, the late part of the war. Very high rate of fire, very effective weapon. Normally a German infantry section of 10 men would have 2 of these, giving it extremely heavy firepower for such a small number of troops. You can see the MG42 mounted in the Schwimmwagen, which is just passing us now. Motorcycle reconnaissance troops now starting up and withdrawing. Hopefully yep. Amazing. Here is a motorcycle which has overturned. The driver and passenger got out unscathed. He hops on it and starts it up almost as if nothing has happened. Their anti-tank gun. But it's beginning to be just a mopping up operation now. Built by the White Motor Company in the United States, and another one which is the International half-track. Troops are now forming up to march off the arena. As I hope they can hear you, perhaps you might. Tactical situation would have developed.
American or British. The Stuart's actually marked up in British markings. It's followed by the M26 Pacific, colloquially known as the Dragon Wagon. Now the Diamond T was a fairly universal prime mover used by the Americans and the Commonwealth armies for towing, obviously, as you see, tanks and everything like that. It was quite, it was a really powerful vehicle, but the Stuart's going round on the Rogers trailer, its predecessor is, well, it was originally introduced in about 38, 39, but only armed with a 37mm gun, which honestly was pretty useless. And so the Americans sort of gradually phased all these after American generals. Getting a bit dusty here. The Diamond T came in two forms. One, as you see here, with the soft top, Hercules diesel engine. They also had hard top ones as well. The British Army used both sorts, and lots of these, after the war, were left in the European countries. Garages picked. So we'll go up and we'll try and climb up in. Can anybody give me a little talk about this?
We now have quite a large selection of CVRT family, CVRT being combat vehicle reconnaissance track. There are a couple of different varieties that we have here. We have scimitars, we have the sabre, we have the striker, and we have the stormer. They are all pretty much the same, with a few different variations, but the main thing that they were all built on to start off with was that basically they all have what used to be a Scorpion chassis. Scorpions are not used anymore. They were originally used in 1991 in the Gulf War, but they were phased out quite a while ago. The one that you see coming round now in front of you, the desert colours, he is slightly larger than the others. If you note as he goes round, what we call the road wheels, which are the wheels that are in contact with the part of the track that is touching the ground, he has 6 of those, whereas all the other varieties only have 5. The Storm has 6 road wheels and a larger chassis, so he is longer and he is wider. There are several variations here, but he was mainly used as a troop carrier for VIPs. This version was used for a VIP carrier to and from the front line. And this one itself has carried a few dignitaries to and from the front line in conflict. They were also used as command vehicles, and due to the height, as you'll see, it is also a lot taller than the other versions. There is a lot more headroom, and they were generally fitted out with 2 sets of command kit and also 2 map tables. And you put a little pen. Also a variation that is just coming up to the front of the arena and will run around if the dust clears and you can see what it is. On the rear of the vehicle, you will see an oblong box that is inverted to 35 degrees. Performed what we call a neutral turn. To do this, the vehicle is not in gear, it is in neutral, and what it means is instead of actually turning as they are travelling, it can just turn on in the spot within the length of itself. You do get other vehicles that do this as well, but done quite as neatly as the CVRT series. They can literally turn within their own length, so they can get in and out of very tight spaces quite quickly and take off in the opposite direction if they need to. The one that you see now just coming down the front of the arena, who is just traversing down, if you have a look when he's actually going down, you'll see that he is slightly different in the armour capabilities that everybody else has. He is actually up-armoured, and instead of having the standard engine in there, he has a Cummins diesel engine. What is around and give him guidance for things that he cannot see.
That's why this is the only one in existence. Now it's designed as a troop carrier, an armoured personnel carrier. If it ain't guided, 47 rounds. So very, very lightly armoured. But then again, these are the 113 family, but I'm going to hand you over to Michelle, who's going to take you through it and talk about it. And I believe somebody else will pitch in there a little bit as well. But the rear M1 on 3. You'll see a very long gun on the side of it, which is called a recoilless rifle. An incredibly rare piece of kit. Where they got it from, I don't know. But the two rear ones are Vietnam era, and the recoilless rifle actually had nuclear capabilities. It could fire a very small nuclear warhead.
You don't want to be squeezing through a tiny door. And once in the back, there is a central bench that seats troops on both sides, so they sit back over here.
Armoured doors to the back to the first side to get out. The trouble of going round, I actually can't hear. I'm always surprised the British never took this on. I suppose that's so they were developing the 432, so they were going to be using that homegrown product. There we are, Vietnam. Middle one is a tracked figure. It looks like a tracked motorcycle. It's not actually, it's a Kettenkrad. Ketten meaning track, crad meaning wheel. And it's the smallest of the German half-tracks. So whether we call it armoured, I don't know. The vehicle following, there is again, it's got an open top. It's a self-propelled gun. It's the Sexton, which was built by the Canadians on a Ram chassis. Now, the Ram tank, if you look across the arena, the station side, more things coming in. Going back to the M10, you notice also the Americans, had, like the Germans did, they learned from the Russians. The fact the Russians developed the sloped armour concept for protecting vehicles, where if you slope the armour through 45 degrees, you increase the protection. What's not specific about this vehicle is the camouflage. Actually, on both the Sexton and the M10, if you notice, there are basic the Sexton, being self-propelled artillery, is a gunner, so he's artillery. And so the Sextons will go about in batteries rather than, working individually like a lot of the tanks to pull it. So, when the British introduced the Centurion tank in May 1945, soon after there followed the Centurion ARV, Armoured Recovery Vehicle. Instead of having a turret, they took the turret off, made this great box same job. Challenger, there we are, going through the bunker now. Lovely bit of kit. He's painted it up, but if you have a look and he goes by. Twos, of which I know very little. Hopefully he showers around.
One that you're seeing today in front of you, and we have 4 of them out here in front of you. They are all of the same variety, which is the FP432, and they are armoured personnel carriers. So basically they were used to carry troops around on the battlefield to and from the front line. They were affectionately known as battle bus because they were used exactly as that, transporting, almost like a bus. And you'll see you have the driver at the front. Sitting up behind the driver you have the commander, which as in all the other armoured vehicles that you've seen and heard about today, on tracks. It is pretty much square. The nose, there is not a lot in front of you. It's not like the length of a car bonnet. There's not a lot in front of you. And the back is dead straight down. It still takes a lot of skill to drive it because it is a large vehicle and you cannot have good visibility all the way around. You do not have windows. You have small mirrors to the sides, like big mirrors, but you cannot see behind you and you can only see to a degree with those mirrors. Some of them larger than others, but you can see going down the front of the section. But it's still on the inside of the vehicle. To fire an 18mm mortar off, so literally place a mortar on this metal plate and that metal plate for the mortar is stable. They would fire this mortar and they would all peel back to the vehicle and obviously get to find that it didn't work in the first place. After the 434s, you've got the 436s, which is the command variant. Every family has a command variant for they are almost like hen's teeth, as in they are very, very rare, and I certainly have never seen one. Is safe before it does. It reduces the size. So once all the arena marshals have finished checking the car and making sure there's no bits that they want to nick off of it for their own vehicles, he missed. Damn, we didn't pay him enough for that.
I must admit, yes, I think nobody's ever seen the arena crew move so fast. Go on, give a bow.
We're doing it obviously a piece at a time because the rear bumper's gone. Oh, now he's going to try for the front bumper.
Go in the middle.
Top, and it's now a convertible.
Yeah. Now you know what a tin of corned beef feels like when you open it.
There you go. You don't need to spend all that money on a convertible. You just use a 432 and you have a perfectly serviceable roof on.
The cars can occasionally fight back, and then you get a piece of car stuck around the tracks, and very easily that can go round, get caught in the sprocket, and the track comes off. And then we go, oh, and we get the people out to know about these things.
And then the mechanics have to come out and actually do some work instead of drinking tea.
It is quite amazing sometimes. You never know it, but these cars can fight back. Many years ago, we had a steward doing it in one of our very early shows, and he wanted to take out a Mini. So the steward approached the Mini and managed to get himself on top of the Mini with both tracks off the ground, which led to a very interesting time. Of course, with the tank with the tracks off the ground doesn't move. Another time we had one where somebody forgot to take the petrol out of the tank and it caught fire.
Well, actually, that wasn't a piece of metal off of the car, that was what looked like the lining from the roof.
Those things can be, if it was metal, let me just spring off. We once managed to dislodge the track of the half track to the car was not. Doing exactly the same thing. There we are, a bit like the vehicle seesaw challenge. The interesting thing, if you were here yesterday, you would have seen a Centurion do the same thing. The Centurion just went over the whole vehicle.
That's a bit better. Is it flat enough yet? No, okay, we want it flatter still.
Well, in that case, we let Richie jump up and down on it, that'll flatten it.
For those of you that do show before that one, what do you think it said?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been decided that vehicle's not going to get any flatter. So Bruce will go once more.
Wojskowy, który duży samochód. Teraz mają taką... Z Czech normalnie przyjechali. Tam gościu coś tam, wiesz, duka niby coś tam po angielsku, ale tu z Czech. A mów tam, a mów co tam. Jako show, no. Tam się ciągnęli.
In the hole at the bottom. Yeah.